can I introduce myself? My name is Chris Davies from the ALDE group, and just like to thank my group for sponsoring this meeting and paying for the sandwiches. My colleague Carl Hagland will say a few words of introduction in a moment. I guess we all agree that the object should be to ensure that we have the maximum number of fish in the sea and a sustainable future for the fishing industry. And yet we've managed to get ourselves into this position where 80% of our fisheries are being fished unsustainably, where stocks are far below the levels that the seas are capable of supporting, where we have to import more than 60% of the fish we use in Europe, and where our fishermen are every day throwing back into the sea dead tens of thousands of tons of fish, which is completely ludicrous. So we're looking forward to the Commission to bring forward some radical proposals for reform. Now, over the months, we've already heard from Commissioner Damanaki that she wants a sustainable policy, one that insists that member states follow scientific advice, that seeks to achieve maximum sustainable yields, and that she wants to end micromanagement from Brussels and replace it with a more devolved approach so far as possible. And I don't think many people in the Parliament will disagree with these principles. But the devil will be in the detail. And if stocks are to recover, then there has to be a reduction in fishing effort. Basically, the fish have got to have time to have some sex, or at least breed, before we catch them. So my fear is that the reforms will be weakened by those who think only in the short term and who put the immediate wish of fishermen to fish as much as possible before the long-term need to build up the fish stocks to provide them and future generations with a secure future. So I believe there's a need for a cross-party group in the Parliament to press for the reforms that are needed to ensure that we have, as a long-term goal, the ability to put more fish in the sea and to secure jobs for fishermen. And for too long, you know the way this Parliament works. The Agriculture Committee is stuffed full of farmers. The Environment Committee is full of greenies, like myself. Fisheries Committee tends to be full of the fishermen's representatives. And I think it's time we made sure that the Parliament's debates on these were more fashioned by those who are also thinking of our constituents, who by and large are simply consumers, the people who don't catch fish but who eat it. And as well as those MEPs from the nations that have fishing fleets, we need to involve MEPs in the debate from those countries who don't have fishing fleets, but who still eat fish. So after today's meeting, I plan to call another one in Strasbourg next month, and I hope that members who are seriously interested in saying, how can we cross-party work together to shape the position of our group, and in the short term, perhaps to help shape the position of the Commission. And I hope that that meeting will be equally well supported by members. Well, thank you once again. I hope we have your email addresses. We will keep in touch. For the members, there'll be a meeting to try and set up, I think, a group. I hope you agree that we should be trying to set some sort of all-party group here to act as a point of contact and liaison to campaign. I'll tell you how my concern here. My concern is that the European Commission will publish its proposals. And when in this Parliament, now that we have co-decision powers, the people who will be most interested in the issues are the traditional members of the Fishing Committee and those who represent large fishing communities. And the great majority of parliamentarians who actually think, we really do need sensible, long-term, sustainable policies, but actually don't take a day-to-day interest in them, will leave the decision-making in their working groups within their political parties to others. And so we end up, the great majority of parliamentarians, with a policy we don't actually want, but we didn't turn up to the working groups ourselves. And so after that, we just follow the line. And that's, I think, what we must counter. We must make sure that we have a more diverse representation injected into this issue to ensure we get the political balance that's necessary to secure reform. So thank you very much indeed.